head of the NAACP is praising Biden's plan, but says there's still a ways to go to alleviating the burden of student debt. Derrick Johnson is instead calling on the government to cancel at least $50,000 per borrower. NAACP President and CEO Derrick Johnson joins me live now to discuss a little bit more on this. Derrick, thanks so much for being here. You know, Biden's plan will forgive up to $20,000 in relief for those who are Pell Grant recipients and $10,000 for borrowers who aren't. And you're calling this a good first step. Why do you think this needs to go further?
This is a great step because we're talking about teachers and public service workers. We're talking about people who did exactly what they were told to do, got an education, to be productive citizens. It is a small drop in the bucket by putting people above profits. Think about over the last 3 years, we've given away over $2 trillion to corporate interests. We have given so many tax breaks that it has crippling many of our state governments. The fact that states traded off tax cuts for the rich and increased tuition is the crux of this problem. So we should be celebrating because for the first time in my memory, we're actually putting people above profits when it comes to higher education. That is something to commend this administration for. That is something that we should be proud about.
And Derrick, according to the NAACP, on average, black borrowers have $53,000 in student loan debt for 4 years after graduation, which is almost twice as much as their white counterparts. Why do you think that is?
Because of the interest rates being charged. And the compound interest rate accelerate. I know people who are paying more back in interest than they are in actual principal. I received a text from a colleague who thanked us for our advocacy because her 75-year-old mother is still paying student loan debt. You have individuals who are 65 drawn down on their Social Security, and some of their Social Security payment is being taken to satisfy the debt. And most of that debt is in interest. We have to right-size the delivery of higher education in this country. We must not penalize individuals who are seeking to climb out of poverty. And we need to support middle America as we grow our economy through an educated workforce and not allow divisive arguments of working middle-class America against working middle-class America when they're both being targeted by corporate interests that's exploiting our tax coffers for the benefit of profits and not for the production of more people who can add more to this economy.
Now, Derrick, some lawmakers say that student loan forgiveness doesn't get to the root of the problem, which they say is that college is too expensive in this country and that forgiving loans actually incentivizes schools to keep raising tuition. What's your response to that? Is this plan missing the big picture?
Well, first of all, we have a structural problem on how we deliver higher education. Because states sought to cut taxes for rich, schools were forced to increase tuition at public universities. And then private universities began to look at profit incentives around increasing tuition. That is a structural problem that must be addressed, but it doesn't take away from the crippling effect of student loan debt, which is a super debt. You cannot discharge it in bankruptcy like our former president who filed multiple bankruptcies. You live with this debt for your entire life. It has grown to exceed the debt during the housing mortgage crisis in 2008. And by the way, we bailed out banks in 2008 because of their misstep. And those same individuals who voted to bail out the banks and supported that are now criticizing helping people in their critical need. That's not America. We need to support Americans who are adding to our economy and making our democracy work. That's the goal of the NAACP, and we commend this administration for doing it.
Now, Derrick, we heard it from Cecilia. The latest estimate on what Biden's plan will cost American taxpayers is $500 billion. You're proposing a relief amount 5 times that of Biden's plan. So how do you think the country should pay for that?
But the country should do as we're doing it for the war in Ukraine. The country should consider all of the subsidies we're giving to corporations so they can maximize profit. We should not trade off people for profit. We should benefit both equally or people greater than the profit mongers who operate corporations. And so we must, as a society, move away from these arguments, look at the structure around the delivery of higher education, and ensure we are investing in our future and not building an economy based on individuals who are in debt.
NAACP President and CEO Derrick Johnson, we appreciate your time today, Derrick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.